Mm-hmm. We are on, but my sound wasn't connected to the microphone. Give it a few minutes to catch up. And there's a delay. Oh, good. Good morning and hello back to you, Priscilla. Thanks for joining us. I was just doing our little sound check here, but we are on. Okay. Thank you, Priscilla. Appreciate that. All right. So good morning and welcome back to another WCN Live here in the Wilson County News Break Room. My name is Kristen Weaver, Director of Operations, and today my guests are
Rachel Goddard.
Thank you.
And Catherine Ortiz with Firstmark Credit Union.
Thank you so much for being here. We're having our wonderful quarterly WCN Live where we'll be talking about our wonderful educator here. Before we get started with that, let me thank our sponsor, Professionals in Dentistry, the top-rated dentist in China Grove, San Antonio, where you can smile brighter at Professionals in Dentistry. Thank you so much for your sponsorship of WCN Live, and you can share some love with them. They're tagged in the description of this video, as well as Firstmark Credit Union, so you can learn more and go back and see, learn all about these wonderful businesses that we're including today. But thank you for your sponsorship. The next thing we're going to do is draw a winner. We all love winners, don't we? So, all right, just reminding you all, share this video far and wide. While you see the video, post a comment. That'll get your name into the drawing for next week's WCN Live. So right now I would like for you to draw me a winner. These are comments made on our last video, and let's see who that winner is.
You get to pick the winner.
Yeah. Put my volumes all the way down there. Good. And we have Heather Lindquist. Okay, congratulations, Heather. Yeah, she joined us on our last video. So, Heather, I will be reaching out to you on Facebook Messenger. You win a C Street Gift Shop gift bag. So, we'll be getting that your way very soon. And remember, share this video, post a comment. You're welcome to just say hi, or you can also ask a question. So, well, let's get started then. So, if you would each please give a little introduction about yourselves. Who wants to start first?
I can
Go ahead,
start.
Kat. Okay.
So I'm back.
Awesome.
Every quarter.
Yeah.
My name is Catherine Ortiz. I'm with Firstmark Credit Union here in Wilson County. Our location is actually based in Lavernia. So I will go more into that in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. And Rachel?
I'm Rachel Goddard. I am a teacher and coach at Lavernia Junior High.
Wonderful.
So, yes.
Yeah, the junior high. Okay, that's right. Told you I'd just leave my questions for the interview. All right. So, Catherine, yes, you are someone that we have gotten to know over the last, well, it's going to be like 2 years doing this. We thank you for being here again and for all that you do to help with this program and honoring these wonderful educators as we're doing quarterly. So tell us about Firstmark Credit Union's role in this contest.
So Firstmark Credit Union, just a little history, has been in business for over 90 years. We began as San Antonio Teachers Credit Union, so founded by educators. Recently we did a name change, so we're Firstmark Credit Union, and everyone thinks we're brand new.
Yeah.
But no, if you have been around the area for a long time, you'll remember San Antonio Teachers Credit Union.
Yeah.
So founded by educators, our vision on purpose is still giving back to education. Our membership is open to everyone now. It's not just educators, and with everyone that is a member, they have an opportunity to donate $1 a month into our 501c3 program. Great. And what that does is that allows us to give back. It's our foundation, and we get to give back to educators.
Yeah.
So, we've been in Lavernia for, this is our third year, so 2 full years, working on our third year. Yeah. And one of our initiatives to give back is to find opportunities to give back to Floresville ISD, the Wilson County schools.
Right.
So with that, we partnered with Wilson County News, and we have the Educator of the Quarter, where we get to honor an educator with a special gift card, a little change in their pocket, maybe a little bit,
right?
And then the recognition, a plaque, and the honor. So that's our part in this and what we do.
Wonderful, yeah, because someone took the time to put your name out there, and I can't wait for Kat to share that with us. Well then, with that said, what was it like now this round, going through drawing a winner? I know every time this gives me chills.
I was just telling Rachel, no matter how many times we do this, there's times where Pam and I are reading through them and we have to grab tissue. And it probably is the emotional connection as
Yeah.
well. Like I said, my family has a history of educators in the school district administration. I've had some time in which I've done that.
Yeah.
And just knowing that there are parents out there, there are students, there are fellow coworkers that feel I need to take a moment to honor this person. And then to read what that teacher is doing, what that educator is doing, and educator, coach, like they're all sewing into our children, and it's crazy out there. You hear all the bad news. It gets to us so fast on social media.
That's true.
It's nice to be able to be overloaded with great news, with all those nominations. It's just an overflow of great news. And then to sow a little bit out there, the announcement, and then to be able to show, like, look, it's not all bad.
Yeah.
Some people out there are working really hard to change the way things are going.
Right.
So I guess, it's never easy. A lot of nominations. Some you'll see multiple times.
Yeah.
But as we read through, and they shift to the top, and they shift to the top, and then it's like, you know what, this is the one. This is
something stands
winning,
out.
Yeah, this is the winning nomination. So
excellent.
never easier, always difficult, but it's nice to see.
Wonderful. So Rachel, tell us what it was like when you were awarded the recognition. What did they do? Was it a surprise?
Yes, it was very surprising.
Walk us through it.
It was, very surprising. So we had like an assembly for the 8th graders during one of our class periods. And during that time, I actually had 7th graders. And so our principal was like, okay, we need all the 8th graders. And Coach Goddard, bring your kids. And I was like, what is happening? It was very confusing. And even my kids were like walking up and they're like, these are all 8th graders. Are you, Coach Goddard, are you sure we're supposed to be here? And I was like, I was told we were supposed to be in here. I was like, I don't know. And so we like walked in and we sat down and we like did the assembly and stuff. And it was for our winter guard. They were kind of promoting winter guard at the high school, and just doing a little demonstration to kind of get kids into it. So it was really awesome to be there and see.
A big crowd.
Oh, yes.
This was the biggest.
Right?
We've done classrooms.
Sounds
We've
like
done
it.
Football teams.
Oh,
Fantastic.
So this was the biggest.
How fun.
crowd.
Yeah.
And so, all of the 8th grade is like sitting up there, and I'm like, okay. And then my principal comes down and he starts talking and stuff. And then I think you guys.
He says we have something special that we'd like to announce, and then that's when I think he called you down, or did I call you down? It was so.
It was a lot. It was.
Yes.
I was like, I kind of blinked out. I was like, I don't know what's happening.
I bet.
And so, I like walked down there, and you and your whole team were down there, and like the administration was there and stuff. And I was like, what's happening? Like all of central office, and
I told her, just breathe. This is all good news. That is happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
so, it was very surprising, and it was, an honor to be honored in that way. So it was really nice and special.
That's so cool.
In front of all her students.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
So that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
And
incredible.
and it shows the students to realize that what your teacher is doing is not just being here every day and clocking in and clocking out.
What an
Like they're-
inspiration.
Yes. They're inspiring you, and look, like it. What is it? Aspire to be like them. Just because look what she's doing. You see, she works hard. You know how much she's like. So in the nomination, they announced. I mean, they mentioned that she works special education teacher, tennis coach, and wrestling coach.
Wow.
So the hours are probably like not your typical, 8 to 8 hours. 9 to 5, or I mean, you have your games you go to, the late times, transporting them back and forth. You have your training that you're doing. And just to see, like, they even mentioned that she has grown the tennis program, right? It was like just 12, 15 students, and now it's like over 80 athletes a year.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
So she's had a huge impact in the program too. And, it's pretty awesome just to see it and to show the students that, this is what you're doing and it's making a difference. And hopefully, they look at their teachers a little different if they have not seen their teacher that way.
Yeah.
But yes, it's pretty awesome. And I read the nomination so that everyone would be able to see why she was standing up there.
Yeah, gosh, we ought to bring those on on this. I would like to hear it
Right.
sometime, but
Right.
that's great. So tell us about your background in education and how many years you've been in education, and kind of share that part of your history with us.
So this is my 6th year in education, my 5th at Lavernia. And my first year was at a middle school in Seguin. And so that was a lot of fun, because I grew up in, well, I went to school in Lavernia and stuff, from 6th grade until graduating.
Nice.
And so to walk the halls of the school and be back now and work with teachers that I had as
Wow.
teachers, so it's kind of like a
Special.
full circle, really awesome. So yes, I just ended my 5th year at Lavernia. I am a 6th and 8th grade special education inclusion teacher, and so I kind of go into classrooms and help students, mainly with dyslexia or ADHD. So just kids that we just have a little bit of gaps, that I'm kind of there to kind of help close those and
Nice.
help them in the general education classes and
cool.
stuff. So yeah,
It's kind of like is that very one-on-one with them?
I have a handful of students in class, and I help all the students
Right.
in class. I just kind of
Nice.
walk around, and we just kind of
Yeah.
make sure that everyone's kind of on the same page and just going, and just a little bit of help. It's not necessarily one-on-one with
Oh,
a student.
gotcha.
So yeah,
It sounds really great.
yes.
A great way to do that. Okay.
And then the tennis and wrestling.
Right.
Were you an athlete in tennis and wrestling, or?
I actually, those were the 2 sports I did not play.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's kind of crazy.
Let me add that.
Yes. In high school, all 4 years I played softball, and then my senior year is when we got soccer at Lavernia, and I guess everyone says my little claim to fame. I scored the first ever goal for Lavernia girls soccer, so that was kind of cool. And the most goals that season. So that was really fun to be a part of that and kind of see how that program has grown throughout the years, from being on that first team and now seeing them just thrive in playoffs and stuff. So that's really awesome. I always thought I would be a head soccer coach, and life just kind of did not happen that way. My first year of teaching, I was not able to get on at Lavernia. It was just so competitive, and there were no positions open, and so that's why I kind of made my way over to Seguin. And then when I came to Lavernia to try to get on, I told them that I had coaching experience in Seguin, and Coach Tabor was like, okay, we don't really have any coaching positions open. It was still very competitive at that time. And he was like, well, he called me back a few weeks later because he had my brothers in football, and he really got to know them and stuff. And he's like, okay. Yeah. And he's like, okay, Coach Goddard, would you want to do tennis? And I was like, I have no clue about tennis. I have never even played tennis. And I was like, I'll give it a shot.
You're needed, right?
Yeah. And I've always heard a good teacher can teach anything, or a good coach can coach anything. And I was like, you know what? I will do research, and I did all year long, because it's in the spring.
Right.
So all year long, kind of looking up drills and doing research, and how can I grow this program. And so I talked with the head coach at the time, and she was like, yeah, there's not a lot of kids that come out and stuff, so it'll be a pretty easy first year. I was like, okay. And at the time, I had a brother in 7th grade and a brother in 8th grade, and my mom was like, okay, well, if Rachel's coaching, then you're playing. And she's like, find some friends. If you don't want to be the only person out there, find some friends. And boy, did they. Because our first day, it was 50 plus kids. And I was like, what is happening? I was like, I thought this was going to be an easy first year into tennis. And it was kind of...
family support right there.
Yeah, yes.
That's
And
great.
so, yeah, my brother's got a whole bunch of friends. And then the next year, it grew even more. And we were up to 60 plus kids. And then it just grew and grew. And this year, my whole goal with teaching and coaching is always to be as inclusive as possible. I want to give students who may not always be recognized that recognition, or players that may have been cut from all these sports that have cuts. And so I wanted to make sure that I had an open place for them. And so for so many years, I did have so many students on the tennis team because I just did not want to make cuts. And then this year, I ended up having to. I had a long conversation with other coaches and the head tennis coach, and he's like, I think we're at the point in the program that we are going to have to start making cuts and stuff. And so that was really hard. Like that's always like
so hard.
I like that is the worst part of my the whole year long is like that one day that I have to make cuts. And so that was very hard, but we had a very successful season, and being able to kind of give more one-on-one coaching and time with students this year by making those cuts really helped grow the program. So we're kind of at that point where kids are just wanting to come to us, and then now just kind of growing from there. And so that's been super amazing. And then just kind of being a part of just kind of a new shift in tennis, because I feel like a lot of times tennis is kind of looked at like, oh, that's like a nerdy sport, or like no one really plays tennis, or like it's just not as common as like football or volleyball, like those big, I guess, like jock sports. And so being a change in that and having students now at the high school level, they're like, oh, I don't really want to just specialize in just volleyball. Like I want to like do something else. And so giving students an opportunity to kind of grow in a sport that a lot of them, they're like, I never would have thought I was going to play tennis. And they're like, my friend asked me and I joined, and now like some of them I've had for 5+ years. And so that's another amazing part of my job is I get to be with them for years and years and years, and see them from 7th grade all the way up until varsity. Like some of the girls I had this year, like they're the state alternates at the high school level, and I had them in 7th grade. So it's really awesome to like see that growth, and just kind of empowering students and players to kind of grow in that confidence and in a sport and a love for a game and stuff. And so that's kind of been super awesome. So
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
I mean, for making it fun for the students to even try it, you know, it's something that they may have never even thought they wanted to do.
Yes.
I know my kid has tried, I think, everything at the school now, and I know when he tried tennis, he said he loved it. So, I mean, you made it fun, and he's not just the football player, you know, he can be the tennis player too, and not just be one or the other.
Yes.
You know?
That's great.
Yes.
It's awesome.
That's good that they get to try the different things as well, and not just be totally fixated on one sport. And I'm sure that's very good for their just overall growth as an athlete and student.
Yes.
Wow. So, well then, what advice would you give to teachers in the field today?
I would tell them to just kind of continue to find the love, like from day to day. Like I know there's going to be struggling days and days where you're like, why am I in this field? What is happening? Like you just kind of feel a little bit beat down, either by students or parents or just any like laws that continue to come out, and we're like, what is happening like here? So just to continue to find your reason why you're there and your love for your students and just the career that you have picked. I have loved every second of being a teacher and a coach, and I don't really have many days to kind of look back on and just kind of feel discouraged. I feel like I just continue to push forward and push for the students. I think, I mean, I hear all the time, everyone is like, I don't get into education because, like, for the money or for this or for that. Like, it's for, like, your love for students and teaching. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And just to kind of continue on, like, that path. So.
Wow.
That's great advice for any field
really
you're
is.
in,
Yeah.
anywhere you
Yeah.
work. You know, where's the passion? I mean, what got you so excited about starting what you started? And, you know, bring that back out,
Yes.
that excitement. So that's great. That's great advice.
And
I'll take that one home with me too.
Absolutely, we can all learn from that. We can, certainly can. And what would you like to share with your students?
That it's just a joy, like, being with them, and it's so amazing to walk into class, like the first day of the school year, and just see, like, a lot of times I'm kind of with 6th grade students, and so they're so nervous and scared, and they're like, this is a huge campus, and I'm going from class to class, and it's just so amazing to see the growth throughout the school year. I think that is like my favorite thing. And so to see them mature and grow and just have like such a love for their friends and teachers, and like it's really awesome to kind of see that. And then it's so sad on like the last day of school, like they go from nervous, like I don't want to be here, to the last day of school of I don't want to leave. And so that's really, it's really awesome to kind of see that. And then sometimes I even get the opportunity of having kids in 6th grade and then again in 8th grade. And so seeing that growth just in that time in the junior high, like that is truly amazing to like see them and have conversations with parents again. And I was like some of them, I'm like, remember in 6th grade when you were literally doing push-ups in the middle of class because you had so much energy, like you were just bouncing off the walls, and now you're in 8th grade and you're able to write a whole paper by yourself and you just get to work, and I'm not having to tap you on the shoulder. And so
Make
just kind
push-ups.
of seeing,
yeah, you're a good teacher. It's pretty awesome.
So
Wow.
that's such a joy to kind of see the growth of students. That's like my favorite.
And junior high is
cool.
such a tough
It
time.
is.
You know, you're transitioning
Yes.
and trying to find, you're going through changes, and you're trying to find out who you are, and how you relate to everyone else around you.
Yes.
So it is such a tough time to go
Yes.
through. So it's pretty awesome that you get to be there and hold their hand through that and watch them. And then hand them off into high school, like, now go.
Yes.
Get ready to be an adult.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really outstanding, and you can see why we're sitting here today with you, just by listening to what you've just shared with us. Wow, it is an honor. Gee. Well, we're kind of drawing to near the end of our conversation, so Catherine, do you want to circle back to anything else about Firstmark? And then we also need to remind everybody about the deadline, which is June 30th, for the next educator of the quarter. So what would you like to share?
So two things, you know, regarding Firstmark, you know, I've mentioned our passion, our mission behind, you know, giving back to education. If that, you know, is something that you want to get behind also, just becoming a member is your contribution. You know, becoming a member, you come in and it's that $1 a month that goes into our 501c3 foundation. And that is your give back. That funds efforts to give back to more teachers, to give grants, to give scholarships. So just becoming a member and your support, sharing these videos, you know, with all your following, your friends, your family, that helps us fund more, right? So that, if you're interested, we're in Livonia, you can actually become a member online. It's real quick and easy to become a member, add that savings and checking account, and you're part of what we do. Two, you can also nominate educators. So we are coming up on the end of our next quarter, which is quarter 2, June 30th, right? The 30th?
Yes.
June 30th is the last day to nominate an educator. So you've been sitting here and you've been listening to Coach Goddard, and you're like, man, I know that person. That person is there for my kid. Or you're a student watching because it's summer and you're at home. So you're watching and you're like, gosh, I remember my teacher. Like, my teacher last year did amazing things for me. Take that moment to nominate them. The nominations show that it matters. You know, Coach Goddard's name has been mentioned quite a few times. So it's not just, you know, that one nomination. Continue quarter after quarter to nominate.
That's right.
Because they rise to the top, you know. But that nomination lets educators we've noticed, we've talked to, let them know, keep doing what you're doing. It's making a difference. And so when you do get tired and you're like, oh, I just don't know if I can keep doing this, these children, because I know I do it at home, it helps power you, you know, to keep moving forward because you are making a difference. So nominate. It's the end of June, and then we will announce another winner when school starts. We will be back in the campus, and in August we'll get to surprise them.
That's right.
Who knows? We went big with an auditorium this
Yeah,
time.
like, wow.
How big we could go on this
You're
next
really
one.
setting the bar there.
I know.
Yeah.
But yes, please, please, you can go to
wilsoncountynews.com/edu. You can also find a paper form in the newspaper every week in the Wilson County News. Look for that, and you can just, bring that in or mail that in if that's your preference. But it's very easy. Just go online, wilsoncountynews.com/edu. And I believe Firstmark also has a link to that form on your website.
Yes, you can go to our website, Firstmark,
CU.
yes, firstmarkcu.org. And then you can have, all the information about Firstmark and stuff and what we do, information on our foundation,
Right.
all the things that we're doing. We have quarterly reports on how we give back in Wilson County, so you can actually see that on there
Great.
too.
Yep.
But yes,
Awesome.
I'm excited. I mean,
It
I know
is.
we don't see this ending, so I love
Right.
that more quarters are coming.
That's right.
And we'll have more opportunities to be able to be here and honor more educators.
And if you haven't seen your educator yet, nominate again. So those
Yes.
nominations start over every quarter.
Yes,
So
every
we
quarter it's a new nomination.
really need you getting out there and nominating your educator and making it happen. So
Absolutely.
great. Any last words as we circle the end of our conversation? Okay, well, this was
Nominate.
right. Nominate, guys. Just get out there and nominate. Check out Firstmark as well. And thank you all for joining us. Want to just a few kudos here to you, Coach Goddard from Connie Bradstreet.
Yes.
She mentions that you're on the special ed team at the junior high and always does your best to get them what they need. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Rachel, Nanette, Sharon, and Priscilla, all for joining us. And there will be others later because these videos do travel, and that's what we're hoping for, is that you share this video, put it on your page, and hope that someone else can see this and be inspired by it. And it was just such an honor to meet you. Thank you for sharing what
Thank
you
you
do.
for having me.
Yeah, and for your what you do in the community. It's really great. Thank you, Kat, because you're the driving force behind this, keeping it going. Love it. Just keep up the good work. But we want to thank our sponsor, Professionals in Dentistry, the top-rated dentist in China Grove and San Antonio, where you can smile brighter at Professionals in Dentistry. We want to thank you also for your sponsorship of WCN Live, and we appreciate you. Go check out these wonderful organizations. They're tagged in the description of this video. And remember to join us next Wednesday. We'll be here again at 10 a.m., so I'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.